The word yoga conjures imagery of peace, well-being, purity, and authenticity. Yoga has inherent brand value. As more and more people experience the benefits of yoga, yoga becomes mainstream. Yoga is the mainstream. Anything under the name of yoga generates interest. Yoga is a multi-billion-dollar business involving classes, certification of teachers, clothing, creative content, books, videos, yoga equipment, yoga festivals, and yoga tourism. As yoga gains popularity, the business interest intensifies. But this comes at a cost to the students and practitioners. Instead of earnest students getting the full benefit of the yoga system, it leaves them confused, misdirected, and prone to exploitation. Many of them leave permanently thinking yoga is not for them. The distortion of the traditional teachings is leading to the misunderstanding of the subject. The misrepresentation of the philosophy is creating doubt and confusion. Removal of the spiritual and sacred essence of the practice is lowering the possibility of the students tapping into their innate capabilities and reaching their highest potential. But it makes good business sense. Each element of yoga is now separately marketed as a product of its own. Different styles of asana as physical practices, yoga as therapy for different problems, pranayama as breathwork, meditation, music, etc. The more the products, the more the revenue. Documentaries and articles about yoga emphasize mainly on three things. First, how difficult it is to say what yoga really is and how it is different people. Second, that yoga originated in ancient India, a distant past that has little to do with the present India. Third, then that today's yoga is different than the continuous living tradition that has survived thousands of years. The discussion is about modern yoga and how it is different than yoga as it was systematized by the rishis, munis, and acharyas of India. Modern yoga is a concept created in 2004 by one Miss Elizabeth D. McKellis, a professor of biblical and religious studies at Cambridge University. In her book, A History of Modern Yoga, she links the birth of modern yoga to Swami Vivekananda's Raj Yoga, which itself is a commentary on Patanjali's Yoga Sutri. She tries to distinguish the different schools of yoga, Shivananda, Iyengar, etc., separating them as physiological, postural, and meditational subtypes. Albertina Nucteran, another scholar, in her review calls this book as a preliminary overview, and that the author has chosen not to tell the full story. Though the book was not highly received, it created the category. Her student, Mark Singleton, furthers this modern yoga ideology through his book Yoga Body and tries to show the evolution of the postural aspect of yoga as separate from its spiritual and ethical values. He joins his hands with Professor James Mallinson of SOAS College London to publish Roots of Yoga in 2017, a project funded by the European Union. And they say it is paradoxical to call all the different limbs of yoga, such as the yamas, niyamas, asana, etc., as yoga, because yoga is both the entire process and the goal. In doing so, they fail to recognize Maharshi Vyasa's saying, Yogena yogo jnatavya, yogo yogat pravartate, which means yoga should be known through yoga because yoga arises from yoga. Modern yoga does not add anything new to the existing practice of yoga. In fact, it makes it less intelligent. Deer yoga, ganja yoga, goat yoga, cat yoga, dog yoga, horse yoga are examples of how triviality has seeped in. Wikipedia defines modern yoga as a wide range of yoga practices with differing purposes, encompassing in its various forms yoga philosophy from the Vedas, physical postures from Hatha Yoga, devotional and Tantra-based practices, and Hindu nation-building approaches. For modern yoga, yoga is an exercise, a physical activity consisting mainly of postures, often connected by a flowing sequence, sometimes accompanied by breathing exercises, and frequently ending in relaxation, lying down, or meditation. Modern yoga enlists all the limbs of Ashtanga Yoga of Maharshi Patanjali, but still wants to identify itself as a different entity and create confusion. The ideology of modern yoga scholars is to separate the various practices of yoga and portray them as incoherently developed, remove the spiritual and sacred element, and most importantly, separate it from the Hindu religion to justify its appropriation by businesses, other religious interests, and its mass appeal the entire humanity. Yoga is a distinct practice which forms an integral part of the Hindu religion. It is one of the 6 main systems of the Hindu Dharma known as Darshana, a philosophy and practice oriented towards reaching the highest human potential, a science, a knowledge, a philosophy in action which has always been modern, contemporary, and applicable to the present.